Hi there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. In today's show, we'll look at the continued redevelopment of our capital city, plus Healthwise examines the risks of sudden cardiac arrest and how to prevent it. And later, we head over to the Mandela Highway that is being transformed into a 6-lane road corridor for easier traffic flow. Sit back and relax for these and more to come as we turn the pages of Jamaica Magazine.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Don't drink alcohol and drive. Don't drive tired or sleepy. Don't tailgate and don't overtake unless it is safe to do so. And always drive at a speed which will allow you time to stop quickly and safely. Let's keep it safe on our roads.
Kingston is earmarked as Jamaica's entertainment capital and cultural mecca. The redevelopment plan taking place is reshaping the infrastructure to support a mix of people who intend to make it their place of choice to live, work and play. The redevelopment process is being spearheaded by the Urban Development Corporation UDC. The plan is unfolded in our next feature.
1962 marked the beginning of a proud and free era of independence for Jamaica. This tiny yet Talawa nation was now free to create its own destiny. 6 years later, the Urban Development Corporation was created to make development happen when and where it's needed within the context of national priorities. One such area was the Kingston waterfront from Bank of Jamaica to the east to the Kingston Craft Market in the west. A post-independent Jamaica and by extension Kingston was by no means fully developed, and so by walking the streets of the capital city, one would see and learn much about Jamaica, its history and culture. Downtown Kingston in particular tells that story very well, having given birth to rocksteady and reggae music. With many of the island's most historic buildings and monuments lining the streets, downtown Kingston is also a bustling business district with busy roadways and crowded sidewalks. This rich history is one such impetus for the Urban Development Corporation UDC, which has been spearheading the development of downtown Kingston. Partnering with both local and international organizations, plans are underway towards championing the transformation of downtown Kingston and to revitalize the area while paying homage to the UNESCO designation of Kingston as a creative music city. In 1995, the UDC was entrusted with its tax incentive program, and that pulled investments in the downtown Kingston area. A major investor is the multinational corporation Digicel, which constructed its global headquarters on prime waterfront property sold by the UDC. Other developments that have gained traction include the construction of Grace Kennedy's multi-story complex on Port Royal Street, made possible on lands sold to them by the UDC. Grace also renovated a building on Harbour Street for use as its financial center. And nearby, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade is finalizing plans for the construction of its headquarters on property along the Kingston waterfront, close to the Jamaica Stock Exchange, on lands made available by the UDC. The redevelopment of downtown is being guided by the UDC's Downtown Kingston and Port Royal Redevelopment Plan 2030. It's being implemented on a phase-by-phase basis and is aligned with the Vision 2030 Jamaica National Development Plan. This redevelopment plan is giving energy to an updated development order for Kingston as well as guidelines for land use and zoning. Aspects of the UDC plan already in motion include the construction of a bus park, one component of a multimodal transport center for the city. There's also the upgraded St. William Grant Park and the redevelopment of the National Heroes Park. Over in the Market District, significant development is evident with the build-out of the Chapel Lane Market. The UDC took another step in partnering with Digicel and the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, the KSAC, to ensure electrical upgrades were completed on the reconstructed Coronation Market. The UDC sees downtown Kingston as the city of possibilities, the ideal location for work, home, leisure, cultural immersion, and entertainment.
Thank you, Lord, for what you've done for a woman like me.
UDC's Fireworks on the Waterfront is a fixed event that's being used by the UDC to promote family entertainment and stimulate an active nightlife in downtown Kingston. Adding to this is the construction of Festival Marketplace by the UDC, an eatery space catering to day and night patrons who will also benefit from the nearby craft market. And for a more in-depth cultural experience, there's the newly renovated Simon Bolivar Cultural Center in the heart of Parade, designed and built by the UDC. The center, managed by the Institute of Jamaica, complements other cultural facilities located in the Parade area, such as Liberty Hall, the restored headquarters of national hero, the Right Excellent Marcus Messiah Garvey. The Urban Development Corporation, demonstrating commitment to the redevelopment of downtown Kingston. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 656-8031 or visit their website at udcja.com. You may also follow the UDC on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
Yo, we don't want to lose you. That's why we're counting on you to stay safe on the road.
Drinking and driving and speeding are a recipe for death and disaster. As to using your cell phone while driving, a mad thing that.
Yeah man, either thing to call, surf the net, text, or visit the Facebook page while driving.
Do not use your cell phone while driving. If it is really urgent that you use your cell phone, pull over at a safe location on the road.
Arrive alive. Don't use your cell while you drive.
Let us go for road safety. All the time, every time.
A message from the NRSC and NHF.
Major infrastructure road work to support economic growth within the Kingston corporate area is taking place along the Mandela Highway. The work will see this roadway being transformed from a 4- to a 6-lane carriageway. Find out more in this next feature.
Transformation of the Mandela Highway into a more efficient and safe motorway is important to the country's economic development.
Persons will be able to get to work feeling more energized. They'll be able to get to work earlier. There should be a reduction in the loss of productive time. Fuel is not produced here in Jamaica. It is something that we have to spend foreign exchange to purchase. And so if vehicles become more fuel efficient in terms of being able to get to from point A to point B that much quicker, then that should also redound to the benefit of the country generally, because we'll be able to reduce our fuel bill.
Mandela Highway is one of the main arterial links between the Kingston metropolitan area, where industrial activities are more robust, and the northern, western, and southern sections of the island. Statistics collected in 2015 show that it carries 1.5 times more traffic than any other road on the island. Widening and improvement of the road takes into account current traffic flow and future demands that will be driven by the real estate and commercial investments being targeted by the government.
There is the plan to implement the Caymanas economic zone development, and so this structure will facilitate all of these.
The current upgrading work focuses on 3.6 kilometers of road between the 6 miles overpass bridge and the off-on-ramp to the Highway 2000 East-West corridor. The construction is being carried out by China Harbour Engineering Company Czech under a $64 million contract. It's part of the major infrastructure development project that's being financed through a concessionary loan from the government of China. The contract to widen and upgrade Mandela Highway was signed in July 2016, and work started a month later. When it's completed in 24 months, the number of lanes should be increased from 4 to 6, and the road will be lifted in some sections. In addition, the eastbound ramp to Washington Boulevard will be increased to 2 lanes, up from the current single lane.
We are building 3 bridges We are also going to be putting in an overpass bridge to facilitate especially the students who attend the Hydel group of schools.
A new bridge is also being constructed over the Fresh River, and the Dehaney River box culvert is being upgraded. The median, as people now know it, will be replaced by a solid jersey barrier. In a swampy area referred to as Ferry that's prone to flooding, construction similar to that used on the Portmore Toll Road is being employed.
It is soil nourishing. We are putting in some 45,000 of these. They'll act as piles on which the embankment will sit. So you'll see the machines dowelling into the ground, picking up the soil, which is then mixed with the cement, which is then poured back into these holes. And it will harden, and what you'll have is the area will become like a bedrock in those areas.
Asphaltic layer will then be placed on top of the base material of marl and crushed stone. A service road is also being provided on the northern side of the highway from the Ferry Police Station to the 6 miles JPS Transformer Station, and will be connected to the main road via a partial Diamond Exchange overpass bridge. This service road will have 2 3.5-meter lanes and sidewalks, and will be designed to have access from several locations along the Mandela Highway. This is to give safe access to motorists and pedestrians from the adjacent developments. Some level of shifting or changes to the flow of traffic is expected during construction to allow for the work to be completed. The traffic management plan includes constructing temporary lanes from Highway 2000 to Hydel. Traffic will be shifted to the southern side temporary lanes while the northern side is worked on. And in the vicinity of Hydel, Kingston-bound traffic will cross over the median to the northern temporary lanes. In the vicinity of the new overpass bridge, traffic will travel on temporary lanes on either side. A temporary ramp will be constructed in the vicinity of 6 miles, which will be used by Washington Boulevard and Spanish Town Road traffic, while the existing ramp is under construction. When the northern side is completed, 4 lanes of traffic will be transferred to the north so that construction can take place on the south lanes. During construction of the southern box culvert at 6 miles, Spanish Town Road traffic will be transferred to the median, and traffic will be shifted to the designated lanes on the new Mandela Highway when the southern lanes are completed. Based on the design, the road is to last for at least 20 years before any major work may be required.
We expect that at the end of the process, all will be comfortable, and most, if not all, persons will be very happy with the product that we'll be delivering.
A second phase is in the making.
The government is thinking of another phase to continue the development all the way to the Old Harbour Road roundabout. And so those works that you would have seen, those are preliminaries with a view to coming up with an appropriate design, which will then be costed, and the government will then make a decision as to the way forward.
Another major infrastructure transformation, enabling efficient and reliable movement of people and goods, and setting the foundation for social and economic growth.
We Jamaicans are a hard-working set of people, and we at the JIS know this. That's why after a hard day's work, you can simply pop onto our website, jis.gov.jm, and be in the know with government news and information. JIS, your information hub.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
We change gears now because knowing what to do when someone suffers a sudden cardiac arrest could mean the difference between life and death. And in our HealthWise feature, we'll find out the causes and how to treat with this health condition so we can all help to save more lives.
You're up and about, going through your routine activities. Suddenly, you collapse without warning. Your heart stops beating, and within seconds, you stop breathing. A quick check shows there's no pulse. All signs of sudden cardiac arrest. Sudden cardiac arrest, SCA, is a condition in which the heart unexpectedly stops beating. When this happens, blood stops flowing to the brain and other vital organs. The person may die if not treated within minutes.
So the way you decide if they're having sudden cardiac arrest is, in addition to seeing if they're conscious, calling to them and seeing if there's any response, you need to feel for a pulse. So you'd feel at the neck, at the angle of the jaw, or you could listen for the heartbeat by putting your ear to the patient's chest. You need to see if they're breathing. So if they're not breathing, they have no pulse, then they're in cardiac arrest.
SCA is not to be confused with a heart attack, which happens when blood flow to the heart is blocked. However, a heart attack can lead to sudden cardiac arrest. Another way to look at it is, a heart attack is a circulation problem, while sudden cardiac arrest is an electrical one. The immediate cause of most SCAs is an abnormal heart rhythm as the electrical activities of the heart becomes chaotic and the heart is unable to pump blood to the rest of the body.
We're all at risk for sudden cardiac death, so we need to know our numbers and our status. What is your blood pressure? Do you know what your blood pressure is? Do you know what your cholesterol is? So we might be a walking time bomb and we don't know. It's not just people who appear healthy who are at risk. Somebody can be overweight and you say, oh, they're bound to drop down, but somebody who is thin can drop down as well. It just depends what the other risk factors are. So I just think the only way we can know is to know your numbers, know your status.
Among the conditions that trigger sudden cardiac arrest is coronary artery disease, a more common cause in persons over 35 years old. Also, cardiomyopathy, in which the heart muscle becomes enlarged or thick and weak, as well as inherited disorders that may cause parts of the heart to stretch and become weak. Other conditions include disorders of the heart's electrical system, as well as heart defects that were exhibited at birth. Persons who have a family history of sudden cardiac arrest or heart disease are also at risk. In contrast to elderly persons, cases of SCA is not prevalent in children.
But the children can be born with some types of heart disease that make them have a higher risk for sudden cardiac arrest. That is usually picked up if they have, sometimes at birth, because of the abnormalities, but even if they're corrected, they can still have an increased risk of sudden cardiac arrest.
Highlighted cases of SCA in student athletes in recent years prompted increased focus on evaluation for the physically active.
I would like to encourage all parents, if you have a child who is involved in any team sport, any physical activity, or even a lot of physical activity, even if they're not on a team, to please have your child checked. Carry them for sudden cardiac arrest screening. We have it at the Heart Foundation. We can come island-wide, or go to your GP and have your child tested.
A victim of sudden cardiac arrest can survive with the quick action of a bystander who is able to apply immediately cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR.
You will start resuscitative efforts, which would include compressing the chest in order to get the heart going. You may or may not breathe for them. Nowadays, it is not, a lot of bystanders balk at starting CPR because they don't want to put their mouth on the patient's mouth. And I mean, that's a real concern. Studies were done a couple years ago and they determined that compression-only CPR, so just pressing on the chest alone, is of value.
If available, an automated external defibrillator, AED, can be used within a few minutes to restore a normal rhythm to the heart. These may be available at certain places such as airports, stadiums, and other public and business places.
If someone has developed chest pain, they've grabbed their chest, they've sank down on the ground because they're having chest pain or they're not breathing properly, you don't start CPR for that. They need to get to medical attention immediately, but you would only start CPR if the patient is pulseless and not breathing.
Following that bit of first intervention, which must take place within the first 4 to 5 minutes of sudden cardiac arrest, the patient will need to be moved immediately to a hospital. The Ministry of Health since 1996 has been partnering with the Ministry of Local Government through the Jamaica Fire Brigade to expand its provision of pre-hospital service.
We recognize that transportation of patients to hospital is a vital part of the chain of survival. Certainly from the patient suffers an incident to the point at which they reach hospital and get care, the transportation to hospital is important. And not only in terms of the time that it takes, but also in terms of the support that is provided during that transport.
You're supposed to have a defibrillator on the ambulance. You're supposed to have basic drugs which a trained paramedic would be able to administer to continue advanced cardiac life support. And when they get to the hospital, which would have been alerted from the ambulance that we're bringing in a cardiac arrest victim, the team would be waiting at the door of the hospital to receive this patient.
Based on the value of CPR in saving a life, the Ministry of Health has been partnering with the Heart Foundation of Jamaica to encourage more Jamaicans to get trained in CPR. And this important life skill is everybody's business, so get trained and be ready to lend a hand when the need arises.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The Alpart bauxite plant in Nain, St. Elizabeth was officially reopened this week by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The Prime Minister says that under the new management of Chinese company Jiquan Iron and Steel, the now renamed JISCO Alpart Jamaica brings optimism of an increase in economic activity for surrounding communities and the country.
A bold decision was taken to give a 5-year bauxite levy waiver to facilitate the plant's reopening, with assurances from JISCO that they will, within 3 years of reopening Alpart, build a new 2 million tons per annum aluminium plant to complement the existing 1.65 million tons per annum facility.
Government has received critical equipment and funds from the United States government to strengthen its crime-fighting operations. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information also signed a 2-year, $4 million letter of agreement with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, to expand the Safe Schools program.
This community-based approach targeting children is crucial to breaking the cycle of violence and criminality that has implications for security in the community, both nationally and internationally. The recruitment of youth into criminal gangs and lotto scamming activities is the best example of what we're up against.
Meanwhile, human resource at the Jamaica Constabulary Force is to be bolstered with the addition of 100 district constables within the next 4 months. National Security Minister Robert Montego says the addition will increase the number of police personnel being deployed on the streets. This week also saw the Ministry of National Security launching a rehabilitation and reintegration program for juveniles at 4 correctional institutions. We Transform, which targets 242 12 to 17-year-olds, will allow for the seamless reintegration of juvenile offenders by addressing risk factors for reoffending and providing empowerment through training.
My ministry believes that each and every one of these young persons deserve a second chance in life. And we are committed to helping our young offenders to get back on the right side of the law and to remain there.
The Jamaica Fire Brigade has received 2 new command vehicles worth more than $407,000. They were provided by the Embassy of Japan and have the capacity to withstand natural and man-made disasters such as fires, hurricanes, and terrorist activities.
It means, therefore, that the Jamaica Fire Brigade, as the first respondent, must be in a position to respond when the needs arise.
There has been overwhelming interest in the employment aspect of government's HOPE program, with 1,500 young people turning up for an orientation and recruitment fair held at Jamaica College on Tuesday.
So this is only the first step in that regard. So we put out advertisement aiming to get the first 500 because we have spaces currently for 500 to be placed. We will again be doing a similar type program or similar type day like this, where we will invite other persons in who will come in and register.
Under the employment aspect of HOPE, an initial 10,000 to 15,000 youth will receive training and jobs in ministries, agencies and departments of government. Government, meanwhile, is working towards the September 2018 timeline to begin the first phase of enrollment for the National Identification System, NIDS. Acting Chief Technical Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Jacqueline Lynch Stewart, says centers and mobile units will be set up across the island in addition to online platforms.
We will not, and I want to stress that because we will not, never considered it ever, collecting a DNA. Political affiliation and sexual orientation is omitted, and it states so in the bill. Once a bill is passed, and remember it's a bill now, so it's a proposal. Once a law is passed, whatever is in the law is what we are able to ask persons to provide to us.
And finally, starting September, government will begin paying personal insurance for primary and secondary school students who are part of the Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH. Education Minister Senator Roel Reid made the announcement while touring the Tatius Golding High School, where over 75% of the students are enrolled on PATH.
So we are doing all that we can to make sure that you are provided with a quality education and opportunity for your own educational advancement. I call upon you, therefore, take these opportunities very seriously, embrace them, display good values.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Until then, you can click online jis.gov.jm and visit our YouTube channel to get the latest government information. Also, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and download our app from the Google Play Store to stay informed. I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to make safety your priority. Take care of your health, eat well, exercise, and make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.